Hello, YouTube. Welcome to my channel, Thames Reacts. Brum, 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 brum. We're gonna have more sound effects as the time goes on, but here's my channel. What we're gonna do is more of a live stream film. This is my first video. We're going to be doing a raw, rugged reaction to the Netflix hit show Young, Famous, and African, Season 3. This video will be mostly about episode 1. And I mentioned the live stream film because, like I said, I'm not going to be editing my videos like that. I'm going to be talking as if we're live in person. That way you could get just my real authentic reaction, and so we could have a discussion, in the comments, and as we have more videos, build a community around this hit show. I've been watching this show from season 1, been following it for years now, so I'm very excited to review this episode and just review the season with other fans out there as well. So please like and comment and subscribe. Get your drink of choice, get your coffee, get your tea, get your water, your juice, your wine, your Hennessy, your Julio, Dan, Julio, whatever you like, and we're gonna discuss. So let's get right into it. This is season 3, episode 1, and we are introduced, first scene, to Zari. And Zari is looking beautiful. She has this 1960 vibes going with the scarf over her head, sunglasses, driving down the boulevard. And she's very bubbly and giddy, and she's talking about her upcoming wedding to Shakib, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. And, she's just saying, forget about the past. We're going to celebrate my wedding, and she's inviting everybody. Every single person. There will be no drama, and she wants to celebrate her love. Zari, to me, she knows what she was doing. Like, she invited these people to show out and to be like, look at me, Fantana, you still over there chasing Diamond. I'm going to be here. You're going to watch this wedding. Anybody else I have beef with, you're going to watch me look good walking down the aisle. You had a lot to say, but I'm going to be petty and still invite y'all anyway. So that's how that scene starts. Next, we have Annie, and Annie pulls up in the jet, looking very fly, Miss Two Baba, two-faced. It's giving old money. It's giving real coins, no scammer over here. She's looking good in this first scene. And I don't want to do a spoiler alert, but most of you have already seen the season. And it wasn't looking too... You would just never think that starting from this scene, our girl was going to go out like that this season. But let me just get back on pace and just focus on this episode. But Annie was giving all the vibes. She's coming down the jet saying she's here to support Zari, that she can't believe she's here at this wedding, but it is what it is. And she's going to let bygones be bygones. Real positive vibes. But then she ends the scene saying, like, you know what? She's mad at Nadia and they got a situation going on. And I guess we're going to see what's happening with Nadia moving forward. Then Nadia, a.k.a. Braga, hits the scene with Fantana. And, they're looking cute. They're in their whites. I believe in a car service. They getting ready to go to Zari's wedding. Fantana pulls up, has the bright pink hair, the tight white dress. She walks in like Barbie's hair. And, they hug, they embrace each other. And I'm assuming that, they all haven't seen each other in a while. And they're all here in South Africa. So anyway, they start chit-chatting. And again, they can't believe that they got invited to this wedding. I don't really recall Nadia and Zari having a beef, honestly. But maybe if I go back in the seasons. But, Nadia was surprised that she was invited. But I can understand why Fantana, we all know why Fantana would be shocked to get this invite. So of course she starts off with her shade like, listen, I'm just here to watch. I'm just here for a good laugh. Like, her and Zari have not spoken. You see what I said? They have not spoken. They did not squash the beef. They still on bad terms from the last time they had the issue with Diamond and all of that. And now all of a sudden she gets an invite to the wedding. This is what I'm saying. Zari knows what she is doing. Zari is trying to get the girls riled up, and she's trying to throw this in Fantana's face as well. So while they're in the car, I believe Fantana was saying, well, anyway, I'm glad that she's found love so she could get off me and Diamond, and I guess focus on her new husband. And so Nadia's like, okay, speaking of that, what's up with you and Di? What's up with you and Diamond? And Nadia proceeds to, Fantana proceeds to say, yeah, we're good, but Diamond has a girlfriend. And Nadia's like, we always telling you this, sis. Like, what's wrong with you? What you mean Diamond has a girlfriend? Like, we all knew. So Nadia was like, oh, so Zari was right. And I started cracking up because it's like, Fantana, you sitting there like Dumbo, like an airhead. You know that man is not single. You know he got plenty of women, but you want to act like, okay, Diamond is yours and is faithful to you. So we're going to play. So they go on back and forth. She's saying how her and Zari had the beef over Instagram, going back and forth with Diamond, that Zari's mad that she said all the things that Diamond was talking to her about, and yada, yada, yada. And that even the whole girlfriend situation, she still doesn't know, because anytime she approaches Diamond about the situation, Diamond denies it and says that's not his girlfriend. Girl, give it up. But like you said, this episode that we're reviewing right now is about season 1, so we won't jump. But it was given the delusional from the jump. Very delulu. Like, stop it, sis. Now the next scene starts, and it's like all the gang is back together. You have Nadia, Fantana, DJ Naked, Kaylee, Swanky, I believe, Louis, a few of them are there. And it's at this point, I was looking for Andale, I was looking for Connie, and as you will see as we go on, that their presence is seen, especially Andale. Andale is not even in this season. Like, I'm just gonna put it out there. If you've been looking for Andale, you will not see him. Connie does make an appearance, but initially I remember watching this scene, I'm like, the group is just looking a little scanty, like a few people are missing. So anyway, the gang is all there. They're discussing that again. They're all shocked that I had this wedding. And one thing again that I noticed is that nobody's really feeling each other, or it was very much given at first like we're not really friends off screen, that we all came together to film this show, because each and every one of them at this point of this episode, I think I said previously before season 1, I meant we're reviewing episode 1 of season 3. At this point, they were very much given like they don't mess with each other. Nobody trusts anyone. It's been a while since they've seen each other. So you can definitely tell, this scene at Zari's wedding, it's been a long time since they all caught up, I guess since the last season or whatever. So they get there, and at first, like normally always, they having their small chat, but then it goes to, is Annie coming? Where's Annie? Is Annie gonna be around? And then boom, she has a little section, her entrance. She comes in with the music and the dress, and let me tell you, for the most part, the fashions are hidden. Like always for Young, Famous, and African. giving very regal, abstract looking dresses, and Annie looked good. She came out and, everybody was greeting her. Everything seemed cool. Everything seemed great. And even her and Swanky, if you guys remember season 2, the beef was dead. They settled it. They had a conversation. They both apologized. Everything was all good. So they get there. Annie gets there and they're all catching up, and Nadia's all like, what's this fakeness I'm sensing? And in my mind, I'm like, what fakeness? Like, as I recall, there's no beef between Swanky and Annie, and that's that. But anyway, they sitting there, I guess, waiting for the wedding to commence, and they start talking. Well, Annie, she brings it up. Annie brings up Shakib's age. Like, how old is this man? Like, really, how old is this guy? And they all, let's remember this, they all jump in the conversation. It was like, I think 27, I think 23, 21, they all laughing and giggling, being really messy at the wedding. And I forgot who brings it up, whether it was Nadia or Fantana. They're like, yo, the family's right next to us. And Fantana's like, y'all are messy. Like, they just low-key throwing shade, like, this cougar Zari got her a young fella. So they wrap up this scene and they're like, love is love. And then I believe Zari's oldest son comes to them and like, hello guys, how are you? Can you just wrap this up because the wedding's gonna start? And then it's Annie again. He leaves. Annie starts again in her confessional, and she's like, who is this? What grown man is this? Zari got a grown man's son like this? So that part is hilarious because she later on goes on to say, like, she don't know who's older, Shakib or the son. Like, just funny as hell. So before the wedding starts, DJ Naked goes to see Shakib's, Zari's husband. So he goes to see him, I guess, check up on him before the wedding. And Shakib, he's just looking very worried in this scene. He's looking worried, When they first showed a snippet of him, very confident, handsome looking guy. I believe he's a boxer. He said he sells cars, an entrepreneur, things of that nature. But in this scene with DJ Naked, I'm thinking he's going to be talking about how he's so excited to marry Zari and meet all her friends. And, DJ Naked pulls up. And the first thing he's talking about is like, listen, I'm not feeling Diamond and Zari. Like, you can tell, like, that is going to be the storyline. Like, clearly he feels like there's still something there between them at times. Zari and Diamond can be very flirty. So I agree with Shakib. They could be very flirty. They have 2 children together. They have a family unit. So my thing is that, if you have this confusion, why are we talking about this on the wedding day? And that's what DJ Naked is saying too. Like, this is your wedding and you're talking about Diamond? Okay. And then in the midst of it, I believe Diamond's telling him, like, you should have nothing to worry about. This is your wife. You're the one. Low-key, even before that, Naked being naked with his corny jokes was like, you sure you want to go through this? Do you want to go through this? Because my car is right there and we could just jet. We could bounce. We could leave. No, Naked. Not everyone is like you. I know you scared of commitment, saying you've been married 2-3 times and you don't know if you want to do that. That's you. That is you. Do not project this on that young man talking about let's dip. But, Shakib, he laughed with it and it was just like, no. He turned it around, given very mature and demure, and was like, all right, you say you've been married 2 or 3 times, then the conversation I'm about to have with you about Diamond and Zari and stuff, you could give me advice, you know? So I think they end that scene on that where Diamond is, what's his name? Naked is telling him, like, bro, you're a good guy. There's nothing for you to worry about. And this to me was a sweet scene. You know, you could see at that point, you could see the youth. You could really see the youth in Shakib. Like, he was smiling and grinning, and very happy to hear those words that Naked was giving him. You know, gave him a boost of confidence. I feel like, you know what, like, just go marry your wife to be, and it's gonna be okay. The wedding finally starts, and right before Zari is about to walk down the aisle, you know, Shakib comes, the groom, and I believe Diamond Kids and a few members of the bridal party comes walking down the aisle. And then this is when I lost it. Annie can be so funny. Like, even though she was shady as hell, Annie was so funny in this scene. She's like, I just seen the groom. I just seen the groom. I just seen the groom. You know, just talking about, like, this man looks young. She don't know who is younger, who is older. Is it Zari's oldest son, or is it the groom? And like the way the cameramen were, it was so funny. Zari's oldest son is sitting like right in front of them cheesing, and Annie's just going off in the confessional, and she's like, this man, does he know what he's doing? You about to marry this woman. She got 5-6 kids, 3 of them who was in his age bracket, like just going off, like, you know, can he handle all of that? And I mean, some things she was saying were true, but to each his own, you know. If they like it, I love it. And it was rude on the low. It was rude, but it was just hilarious. It was good TV, and it was a funny scene. Now, during the wedding, this is when everything goes left, and it's honestly like, Annie, are you okay? Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? In the middle of the ceremony, Annie want to chat with Nadia and discuss the issues she has. Like, what? Bogus behavior in the middle of the ceremony. Nadia's like, what's going on? What issue you have with me? And are we really doing this here right now? Like, people are looking side to side, looking at Nadia, looking at Annie, and Annie's just going off like, you did me wrong, you know what you said. And it was at this moment I was honestly like, something is off with my girl. This is not season 1 Annie. This is some weird stuff, you know. Over the past few days, you could see certain things on the blogs. People have their own opinions about what was going on with Annie. I'm not one to judge. I'm not here to talk about whether somebody has mental issues or has substance abuse problems. I'm not going to get into that. But all I'm going to say is that something was definitely off of my girl this season. And in this episode, at this moment, this is when the tics started happening. So then we're introduced to Kefi, or Kefi Lewe, very stunning, gorgeous South African woman. The way we introduced to her is now she walks in during Zari's reception, and she's walking straight down the middle, got a little white veil going on, looking snatched, and you can see Zari's a little bit perturbed. Like, Zari's a little bit like, who is this walking in my wedding, low-key looking good in the middle of the reception? And, you know, Louis is looking at her like, who's this 10, you know, blah, blah, blah. Come to find out, as always, guess who brought her to the group? Mr. Swanky Jerry. So, you know, she goes to Swanky. Hi, Swanky, chit-chatting. I believe Nadia knows her. She makes her entrance in this whole situation. So now we're just going to move forward, because this was another part of the reception. Zari is talking, and Annie now wants to give a speech. Annie wants to give a speech, and this speech, from her mannerisms, the way she's talking and moving, the way she starts in the beginning, was just very cringe. It was very cringy to watch. I felt embarrassed for her. It was awkward to see, and she first starts going off like, I wouldn't think I would be here because of the issue we had. But anyway, she gathered her senses. And was like, I love you. Love is love. And cheers to your marriage. But what I wanted to say about this is that, again, like I'm saying, Annie was tripping. Why is she going up to make a speech? I believe even Fantana during the confessional was like, Annie really scares me. Like, you don't even like this woman more than me, and you giving up to give a speech. It was just giving a lot. It was intense. Annie was giving pick me energy, put the attention on me. And it was just a little bit sad to watch. In the midst of this, did y'all see how Zari did Fantana once again? Had her at the table by herself with a name card with Diamond's name there. So as if Diamond was going to be there, excuse me, they should be at the table together and the rest of the group is separately. Zari is dead wrong. Number one, I knew Diamond wasn't going to show up. And then as we see in the next scene where DJ Naked and Diamond meet up with each other at the barbershop, he's like, where were you, Diamond? And Diamond was like, I wasn't invited. And I truly believe that. Like, Zari sometimes could be funny style like that. Like, Diamond was not invited. I truly believe that. She had Fantana sitting at that table by herself, and all her friends was looking at her like, damn. I would have grabbed my table card and moved it to that table and sat with my friends. There's no way I'm sitting on that table by myself, especially knowing that Diamond wasn't going to be there. It's just the funny antics about Zari. Fantana and Annie, they meet up for lunch. And, at first I was looking at this like, okay, this is cute. Fantana and Annie hanging out. Let's see what they're going to gist about. And, when they get there, it has nothing to do with Fantana. Annie does not want to talk about anything that girl got going on. But Annie came with a motive and just put Swanky to shame. And this is when I was genuinely confused. She starts talking about how you cannot trust Swanky. She don't mess with him. He embarrassed her. He really put her in a situation with her kids where they couldn't trust her personality. Her kids are being bullied, all because of this voice note. And y'all know the whole season Annie holds on to this voice note, this voice recording that we don't know if it exists or not. Just a mess. And she's just going off. And Fantana's just sitting there like, what? That's crazy. No, Annie. Like, Fantana don't really give a damn about what Annie's talking about, and in her back of her mind, she's only thing she's thinking is that she cannot wait to go tell Swanky, her big brother, how Annie is coming for her. Because at this point too, everybody's thinking they're cool, even Swanky thinking they're cool. And again, I'm gonna keep mentioning, this is when I was like, is Annie okay? Is something off? Because the last season we all watched, everything was squashed. So this was very odd. At this moment, I was thinking, is there nothing to talk about? Is this going to be dragged on? Is this another part of their storyline? Because it was very awkward to me how out of nowhere again, Annie has an issue with Swanky that they resolved, which they resolved already. And it's about some voice recording and about her talking mess. And it's just a disaster at this point because it sounds like a broken record. So this episode ends with the last scene. Kayfee, she's hosting, I believe, a lunch with a few of the cast members. And it's at a beautiful garden. And apparently, I guess this is at the venue Annie had her wedding. But, very beautiful place. Keffi looks good in a little black and gold number. Annie pulls up too with a nice slick back ponytail, makeup on point. I liked everything from up top, the black shirt and the pants. I don't know about the boots. And then, Nadia as well. Nadia looking classy, looking great. And they have a sit down. And all of a sudden, it just goes left. Nadia is very pissed. She has every right to be. You could tell she's still mad about how everything went down and decides to confront Annie about her antics. And she's like, what's your issue? What were you saying again about Zari's husband's age? And Annie was like, I was just saying that, he was young. And this is the point I kind of agree with Annie too. Like we were all cracking jokes about his age, but I guess this is just how Nadia wanted to start the beef and just started to pick with Annie. But yes, they were all going back and forth about Shakib's age and they were kikiing about it. But somewhere down the line, Nadia tried to make this a big focal point about the issues she has with Annie, as opposed to her just saying like, Annie, you came for me reckless. It started off with this whole age thing. So Annie is looking confused like, yeah, I said that he was young. Like, hello, you were there. And so she's like, why? What's the business? What's your issue with his age? Like, starts going off. And Annie's like, what the hell? I said what I said, I don't really care. And they just start going back and forth, calling each other all types of names. And Nadia's like, something's wrong with you. And Annie's like, why are you embarrassing me? You're embarrassing me in front of Keffi. And she's like, I'm doing exactly what you did to me at Zari's wedding. Which is true. Like, this is when I was like, why is Annie low-key playing victim here? Is she okay? Did she forget her behavior at the wedding? Like, seriously, the way she was acting is like she forgot anything she said about Nadia. She forgot how she was acting. And she was genuinely like confused. And, Nadia at this point was like, you're very toxic. You're always negative, saying, just getting everything off her chest, because it's true. That's how Annie was acting. Like, you came in at first with positive vibes and then you ended it like you had beef with Nadia. You can't trust these people. So it was just like I said, it seemed like already initially Annie knew what she wanted to do. Like, she wasn't really messing with these people. And Nadia called her out on it. And Nadia holds her own. She seems very strong. Some people say she's aggressive or feisty, but I think she's just like a real human being, and she can't take nonsense. And she just went off at Annie because it was just like, listen, you embarrassed me. I'm going to get you here. The whole time Keffi's like, what is going on? This woman says she's going to be here for me, which is Nadia. And Nadia talking about watch out for these people, but you didn't tell me to watch out for people like you. She's giving very classy in the beginning, very classy in this episode, like she's above this. And we all know what happens in episode 8. Okay, class. So lastly, Nadia, aka Braga, is going off on Annie and is like, you know what, I'm done with you. They calling each other all type of names, witches and wizards and B-words. And she's like, get out of here with your Alice in Wonderland boots. I had a chuckle at that. And that's how this episode ended. So it was a good episode. To me, it was just getting us back to where we need to get back from the last season and see what's going on with them. Like a good catch up. Nothing too crazy, but it definitely, for me, let me know that Annie's going to have one hell of a ride this season. And it was exciting to watch. So, that was a recap of the first episode. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please like, please comment, and subscribe so we could do this again. I will have more videos, but most importantly, I would love for you guys to comment so we can continue the discussion. I will be reading comments, I will be responding, and we're gonna have a great time. So see you all for the next video. Have a good night, good morning, a good day, wherever you are in the world. Peace out.